Good morning. All right, if you're watching this video because you've got my craft kit of the month, go ahead and grab out all your stuff so we can start painting. Oh, surround sound. Go ahead and... There we go. Yeah, go ahead and open the box or open your bag, get all your stuff out, get ready to paint. Got a little coffee since it's still 11 a.m. Got my paint apron on. You will need some scissors. Obviously, those were not included in the craft kit. So grab yourself some scissors. You'll need some paint water for your paintbrush. If you want to preserve the brush so it can be used again. If you did not get the craft kit of the month and you are just hanging out, still say hello. Hope you'll enjoy painting with me this morning. I realized this morning when I grabbed all my stuff from the workshop to bring into my little craft room here that somehow for my kit, I only have 4 watermelon seeds and you need 5. Which means probably somebody out there has a craft kit that got 6 watermelon seeds. I'd much rather give you an extra one than not enough. So I didn't have time to cut one more watermelon seed real quick and still be on time for our live paint. So I will have 1 seed missing until I get it cut and added, but y'all can visualize. All right. So happy Tuesday. Oh, it's still summer, but I'm seeing a lot of people starting to post about the get ready for back to school. And I'm like, holy cow. Kids go back to school way early. Too early. Anybody else agree with me on that one? I think they were saying August 1st or something is the first day back to school for the counties around here. Which... I know that. I was a teacher for 14 years, and I know it seemed like the start of the school year got earlier every year. And by the end of my teaching career, I was going back to work consistently in the last week of July, and it was like, ugh, why? Although I had other friends who loved it because they were like, well, it's so hot in August. I don't want to be out doing summer things. I want to be in air-conditioned working, But that is not me. I want to be out doing hot summer things. All the time. Love the sun, love the heat. You will not hear me complain about that. So, for all you mamas with kids going back to school in 3 weeks or something, prayers, blessings on you as you get ready for that. All right, what are we going to paint first? Let me get my ribbon out of the way. We're going to work on the round first, and I'm going to start with the white. Okay, so this stripe in the middle is going to be painted white. I should turn it around so that's the top. Hello, people joining us. Good morning. So the watermelon's going to fit down here. So this bottom line is not important for painting. The white paint can get below that. Doesn't matter. The watermelon's going to cover it up. That line's just really to help you line up the watermelon bottom so it'll be straight. Now this top line's going to be important because we're going to try to, that's the split between white and light pink. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do white here and I'm going to try to stay very close to the line, so that then I can go ahead and do my light pink here. And I don't mind freehanding a straight line. If that idea freaks you out, here's what I suggest you do. Use the white paint and go a little above this line. I'm gonna stick to that line and keep it straight. Use the white paint and you go above that line. Might need 3 coats, white always needs extra. You're gonna let it dry. So yours is gonna take a little longer than my live paint will. Because once it dries, then you're gonna get out some painter's tape and you're gonna run a line of painter's tape here, lined up with that. So then you can do the light pink up here and you'll have a nice straight line if you don't feel comfortable freehanding it. So that's the only like change I would make for some of y'all doing it on your own. If you don't feel comfortable just using this line as a guide and kind of freehanding a straight line, then let your white dry, then use the painter's tape, and you can use light pink up there after that. If you've got any questions, just ask. All right, so I'm starting with the white because y'all know if you've painted this stuff enough, white paint always takes more coats. And you're gonna grab out your wood-handled foam brush for this. I think I gave one in the package, but for most of the people who order, like most of the people are subscribers. Every month I have a couple people that just order one, or it might be their first month subscribing, but lots of y'all are subscribers, and so you've done this at least a few months by this point. So hopefully you've got extra wood handle foam brushes from previous months, so you can use more of them if you like them better than the sponges. I will say the little sponges you get, sometimes I like these better than the wood handled foam brush. So they all have their place. I haven't eaten yet this morning, so I brought in a little Nature's Bakery fig bar. No, I am not paid for this advertisement. So I might try to eat that in a minute. Those things are awesome. They have like a raspberry flavor too. I don't love it. I mean, it's okay. Blueberry is my favorite. I definitely underestimated how much white paint I'm going to be using here. All right, so for the time being, I'm gonna kind of stay away from that top line. So when I come back and I'm being more careful, that's when I'll go and make sure I do the straight line. And you have to keep in mind, it's gonna say sweet, and then it's gonna have the big summer letters here. So people aren't gonna be like eyeballing your line right here to see that it's perfectly straight. But I know for some people, they wanna make sure it is. All right, so now I'm just gonna use my laser etched line as my guide. It also helps if you're not getting old and need bifocals but refuse to get them, so then seeing things up close is difficult. That helps. Let's see if this works. Like, I'm so blind I can't even see the little line I'm trying to trace. I just need to accept it and get me some bifocals. I'm sure some of y'all can feel me on that. It wasn't even so much about the like embracing my age, whatever thing. It's more just like, I don't have to learn how to use these bifocals and stuff right now. Like, cause I know it's got a learning curve when you first get bifocal glasses, like your brain and your eyes adjusting to them. All right, so there is my first coat of white. I do my coats fairly thin, so I'm definitely going to end up with 3 coats. I like to do them a little thinner because then they dry faster too. So I'm not like waiting, you know, a really long time for them to dry. All right, glasses back on. What a mess I am. All right, I think the part we're going to do next is everything that needs to be green, only because I know our green that I had to go with for the color this month is a thin green, and it's gonna need a lot of coats too. Sorry, I wanted to get all of you this Anita's acrylic lime. I love it. Ooh, can't quite see the reflection, but it's lime, I swear. There you go. But I could not find it at my local Hobby Lobby in any sizes, small, medium, large. Went back twice hoping, oh, it'll get restocked, but I could not. This is my favorite. It's a little thicker. It's still a great bright green. So I had to go with what you all got was called Citron Green. And that one's by Deco Art Americana. Still a pretty color, but it's thin. Like the paint is thin. So I am sorry about that, but that's what we'll do next. So look for your bright green paint pouch. And actually this is pretty dry already. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my second coat on the white before I bust out the green. If you went thicker on your white, you need to wait a minute, right? Because you gotta wait for it to dry. You know, this is the first time I've done any watermelon, like door hanger or sign or anything. I've done a couple different lemon things, like a sweet summertime sign we did that had lemons, and I did a crate set that had lemons. So Life is Sweet, I think, and it was like lemon decorations. But, jeez, sorry, y'all. And so, like I said, I'm not worrying about this bottom line. I'm going over it a little bit just to make sure it is covered. All that bottom line is not really for a paint line. It's just to help you line up the watermelon slice when you put it on the bottom there. All right. Oh yeah. Glasses off. There we go. Looking pretty good for a second coat. All right, now we're gonna move on to the green, for real this time. So I'm gonna set this round to the side for a minute. You're gonna grab your watermelon rind and I'm gonna eat. Not that hungry, but the meds that I take in the morning that I'm supposed to take with food. I don't know if any of y'all are like me, but I have a hard time eating like before noon. I just don't want it. Don't want food. Now 9 p.m. at night, I definitely want food then. Lots of food. But in the morning, not so much. All right. Watermelon rind. And then the letters, every other letter of the summer word is green. you can decide, you know, if you want the S to be green or you want the S to be pink, because they're green and pink. So I'm going to do S green, U will be pink, M green, other M will be pink, E green, R will be pink. All right, so these are all the bright green things. So go open your bright green pouch. Grab out one of your sponges. Good morning to our people joining us. Still morning, right? Yeah, 11:15. Shoot, yeah, still morning. All right, I'm going to use the fat end of my sponge for this one. Kind of fits nicely in the watermelon rind. All right, so for those of y'all just joining us, I'm partway into painting our craft kit of the month. If you participate, you can always come back and watch the video later. It'll be posted in the group. But this is what we've done so far. And you can always look at the picture on the website and the craft kit of the month if you need to go back and take a look at it. But this video will be up, so you can always come back to it and paint with me later. I know I've got a few people still with their craft kit out, like for pickup. People who do pickup, I've got a few on the front porch still awaiting pickup. And as usual, I know life gets busy, best laid plans, all that stuff. If you are someone who has a pickup order and things just get too busy for you to make it over here, I am always happy to package up and ship to you. Just send me a message. I just want to make it easy for you, which is why I do the pickups, because for a lot of people, I mean, it saves them the $10 on shipping or $9 on shipping, something like that, right? So, and you can always come and say hi to my goats when you pick up. So, win-win. But if the pickup has turned into a problem and you're like, oh, I thought I was going to be able to pick up, I'm not going to be able to pick up, just let me know. I'm happy to help. The whole point is to make it as easy as possible for you to get your crafts. I'm going to have to post a poll in the group because I am now trying to decide what our next craft kit of the month should be. So it'll get listed on the 20th of this month, so that's July 20th, but it'll ship the first week in August. So, I mean, the couple options are, you can do a sign. We haven't done a sign in a while. Because I know we did like this spring little crate set, and in the winter we did some blocks. Oh, and we did a Valentine's crate set this year too. Like this kind of little tier trade sets. But we haven't done like a sign, like a framed sign in a while. So I could do something like that. Like we did a Home Sweet Home one not too long ago. That was kind of like a crossover door hanger / frame sign, right? Could be used either way. So, or I can do another door hanger, but that would be kind of 3 in a row because we did the Welcome Star last month and then the Sweet Summer this month. Although Welcome Star I felt was like not exclusively a door hanger, right? Could totally use like on a porch in the house. Oh, I have sandpaper over there. It's got a little rough edge there. I got it. So anyways, I've got until the 20th to decide, but you know, I feel like, do I want to do anything fall related yet? You know, like, but I know I got some fall loving ladies in this group. So I know some of y'all are like, I don't care if it is still 90 degrees outside. I'm going to pretend, and I would like all things pumpkin, please. So I get that. Of course, me, I'm like, I'm going to hang on to summer as long as I can. But I know not everybody's in the same boat. Okay, so you can see what I was saying about this being kind of thin, right? How you can still see the wood grain through it. Some people actually like that look. If you want to stick with that, you can. I want it to be like a much more solid bright green. So I'm going to come back and second coat that in a minute. But I am ready for a third coat on the white. And I'm doing my coats so light on this white. I am feeling like I might be in 4-coat territory. But there's just been times where I go too heavy and you have to wait longer for it to dry, and I'm impatient. So, ooh, getting notifications. Forgot to turn those off. My bad. On my to-do list today, of course, are to finish orders I am currently working on, Etsy orders, and then just, non-Etsy orders, ones that have just come through invoices, through Facebook, that sort of thing. And I have gotten, this month has been the month of name signs, and I am loving it. I really love getting to do custom names. Like I did one in Disney font for a teacher for her classroom. So it's her, name, Mrs. So-and-so. That was very cool. Then I've got like a couple names in the works for friends or family that are having babies. Another couple name sign orders for somebody. I'm making a really big one. It's 41 inches wide, like a big statement piece over the crib. I'm excited about that one. And she knew what she wanted. It was great. She was like, this is what I want. So we found a font she loved, and it's got a little crown in the design. So it's really pretty, but it's a big sign. It was very much a statement piece for that nursery. I hope she shares pictures when it's done. It'll be getting its last coat of paint today. Focusing on the line now. So I've got a lot of custom name signs right now. I don't know if that's just because a lot of people have like babies due in like August and September. Could be. I haven't done the research on that. Like, is there a month that babies, more babies are born than others? But all I can say is it is definitely the time of custom name signs. And like I said, most of them are for nurseries, except for the one I did for the classroom, which turned out adorable. So I think going forward, that's something I just realized recently with having done so many of them in the last month or so, that really enjoy doing custom name signs. And I think I might expand my offerings or post more about those, because I really do like doing them and would love to do more in other times of the year, because there's definitely something that is different at different times of the year. All right, let's go ahead and do the second coat. Oh, you know what I forgot? Y'all, this is supposed to be white too. You're totally forgetting. Let's get to it. I gotta make this white. Since I'm already using this brush, I'm gonna keep using it. Typically, I like my little sponges, so I just need to be kind of careful. But when I paint small words, I like to dab on the paint like I'm doing now, as opposed to brushing it on. When I'm dabbing the paint on a word, I feel like I can go a little bit thicker. So maybe this one will end up only needing 2 coats as opposed to 3 or 4 like I'm gonna need on the stripe I'm doing. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything else that was supposed to be white. The word sweet and the stripe, and that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. This is why we have pictures, because my brain don't always remember. There we go. Now, let's work on the green a little bit more. And then we'll move on to do some of the pink, or possibly another on the white. My pups are trying to come in the door. They hear me in here talking. I'm trying to figure out which one it is out there. Let's see. What is Pete? Hi, Pete. Hi, Petey bud. Say come check on me. You gonna hang out for a while. Pete is my least barkingest of the 3 dogs. So he is okay to be in here. He's not gonna decide he needs to bark at something. Although the other 2 really only bark when there's a window around. You can see something out the window, so they'd be okay in here too. Can you see him? No. See him on the ground. Oh! Hey, Pete. Hey, buddy. You gonna hang out with us? I got Pete.
Okay.
He was out the door wanting to come in. You know, maybe I'm only gonna need 2 coats of this green. I feel like I say that all the time. Maybe I'm only gonna need 2 coats. And then I always come back for the 3rd. Who am I kidding? So I know I made a post in our DIY Divas group earlier. Not this week, but 2 weeks ago, when we were in Mexico for our dental vacation, and all the work that I had done while I was there went fabulously. Things are healing nicely. Yay! I still have a little bit of like aches and pains every now and then. I mean, but I had so much work done in a short amount of time. I could have never done this amount of work in the same amount of time in the States, like dentist and endodontist and prosthodontist, and they just don't work that way here. Because it's not a dental vacation, right? Where you're trying to prioritize getting things done in a short amount of time. It's just not the way it works here. But that was so good for my dental anxiety, because although I was totally overwhelmed at times, and like, I mean, there were like tears, there were panic attacks, there was crying, like at times, you know, no fault of the awesome dentist at the place I went in Playa del Carmen. I just have severe dental anxiety, and you know, anytime you're having dental work done for 4 or 6 hours a day, like that's a lot. Even if you didn't have dental anxiety, right? It's just a lot. I also don't numb easily. So y'all, I cannot even count the number of numbing shots I had over that week and a half or so when we were having the work done. But if I'd had to have the work done in the States, besides the fact that it would cost 3 times as much, 3 to 4 times as much, besides that, it would have been stretched out over so many months and years. I would have certainly postponed or canceled appointments along the way because the anxiety would have gotten to me. And then before you know it, work that should have gotten finished didn't get finished, which is part of the reason I had issues, right? Like I had a root canal on one, but then never went back for the permanent crown because I was just too anxious to go back, right? Because that was a separate appointment with a different dentist, right? Not the same one who did the root canal. So like, things like that, but just made it very difficult for me to keep up with. And genes, I apparently, when my parents have not had tons of dental issues. I shouldn't say genes, I just know like hormone wise, like just some people have more dental issues than others. My sweet husband has great teeth, like he does not need much of anything, you know, I'm jealous of that. But yeah, getting all that work done in a short period of time was ideal for me, just to like get it over with and get it done. So I'm always happy to answer more questions if y'all have any questions about dental tourism, as it's called. I did quite a bit of research, so I know about like a few good places in Mexico. So I'm happy to help if any of y'all interested. It's not as crazy as it sounds. It's really not. And I get to meet so many other people like at that practice there. 70% of their patients are Canadian, and then 20 or 25% are Americans, and another 5% are like European, mostly German, that sort of thing. So another bunch of Canadians that do it too. You know, it's not just crazy Americans like me. But it's definitely something that I'm very happy it was an option for me. All right. That's still feeling a little tacky because now we're on the 3 coats, right? So I'm going to go ahead and work on the pink watermelon and the other pink summer words. This is your dark pink. So it's going to be a color that's called dragon fruit, but you've got it in a little pouch. Trying to see if this is ready. No, that looks still a little wet too. So we're going to work on the dark pink for the watermelon, and the other summer letters are all going to be pink. Oh, this one's still got the plastic on it. There we go. Y'all, finding a perfect watermelon color is no easy task. I looked through so many colors, and I'm like, I know that watermelon's really actually more red than this color, but somehow to me it felt like I wanted it to be pinker. And a lot of stuff I looked up online, like they use pink for watermelon, even though it's a little pink, but it's definitely more red in real life than this color. I just thought these colors looked great together. I am using the fat side of the sponge again too, by the way. I only use the skinny side on really small pieces. Like if I were doing the sweet word with a sponge, I would use the skinny side. So, like I was saying about all the custom names before, if y'all got somebody in your family or friend group that is having a baby soon or a grandbaby, I would love to make them a nursery sign. I've got tons to look at on the website. If you just go to the section in the shop that's nursery and kids, that works. There are a bunch there. Or I have another one that's called like custom names, I think, or custom names and dates. They're in both sections, but you might find something you love, or if you have a particular font or style you're wanting that you don't see on my website, you can always contact me about it. Yeah, in fact, I've got a custom name sign out on the front porch for pickup today. And after I finish the top coat on another one today, I'll have another one for pickup tomorrow. So that's exciting. Along with that, too, goes like a similar concept is making custom names for weddings. I love getting to do that, too. And I've done some where it's like phrases, like their wedding hashtag, or best day ever. I did one like that for them to use in their wedding. But a lot of times it's a name that they're going to use in their wedding reception decorations. And then they can take the sign home and display it somewhere in their house. So it gets used after the wedding. So that's similar that, you know, I really enjoy getting to do those custom name pieces. And since the machines we have are larger, I mean, I can do some pretty large signs. Like I said, one of the ones getting picked up tomorrow is 41 inches wide. I mean, I've made signs that are 6 feet, I think is maybe the longest I've made. I could make one up to 8 feet wide, but most people just don't have a need for a sign that big. I hope y'all love the pink I chose. I think it's so pretty. All right, that looks good. Let's see what we think about our green. Still damp. I actually think I'm pretty happy with 2 coats on that. Let's go ahead and move on to the light pink that's going to go up here. So find a spot for your watermelon and your letters to hang out. And you're going to open your pouch of light pink, which this is the color it is, Anita's Acrylic Vivid Pink. And that's gonna go, whoops, I gotta turn around, up here where the holes are, at the top of the door hanger. And if you've got another foam brush, you could use one if you've got one from previous months, or if you want to use one of your sponges, you've got plenty of sponges, so you could do this with a sponge, which I think I'm going to. I think it'll help me get that straight line. And the sponge is just so smooth. It's really about the same size as that wood-handled foam brush, so I don't think you're necessarily saving much time using one of those, but some people just have a preference. That's Petey's crazy noises. Like an old man, he's always making these stretching noises. He's not an old man at all. He's like not even 2 yet. Part of the reason he's still hyper. And this was the point where I said, if you're not comfortable freehanding along this straight edge line, get all your white coats done, wait for your white to dry, and then grab out some painter's tape. So this, you don't want to put painter's tape until this is dried for like an hour or two at least, or use hair dryer on it or fan or something. You want to make sure it's like 100% dry. And then you're going to put painter's tape along the line, and you can use that to help you get this straight line here if you don't love the idea of tracing the laser etched line like I'm doing. All right, I did a super thin coat on that, so I can already go ahead and second coat. This is the only downside to the sponges. I tend to do really light coats with the sponges, the way they kind of work. It's just what usually ends up happening. All right, I'm pretty close to being ready for another coat on the white there. But I also think my word here is ready, so I'm gonna do the sweet first. And then we'll come back and do this with another coat. Very little paint on your brush when you're doing the sweet work because it's so thin. The word, I mean, it's not thick letters, so it's not going to take a lot of paint. And just like last time, I'm going through and dabbing it on. I find that to be the easiest way. Depending on whether you're using the sponge or the foam brush. Sometimes with the foam brush, when I dab it on, it leaves like a little bit of texture to it. I'm totally okay with that. It's not a lot, and to be honest, I don't think people even really notice that stuff. Always the person who makes it notices more than the people who look at it once it's all put together and they're like, that looks awesome. So I always try to tell my DIY divas, you are your own worst critic. So just keep working, don't give up, don't get mad. Just keep working, and I promise it may look like a mess when it's all in pieces, but you put it together, it's gonna look great. I promise, it'll look great. All right. hoping this will be my last coat. So I'm going to go a little heavy on this one. And then I'm going to turn the fan on in my room and set it in the middle of the room here so it can get dry in time for us to glue some stuff on. It's always the trouble with white. You need lots of coats, and so then it's not always dry when you're ready to move on to the next step. Like a little eyelash or something in there. There. You all right there, Petey? Want a good stretch, buddy? All right. Now let's do a little more light pink up here. All the colors I have picked for this one are requiring lots of coats. Plus, I definitely have a lot more colors on this one than some of the other ones. Excuse me, that I talk with my mouth full. All right. Now let's look at, I'm going to turn my fan on, let this dry a little better. Okay, well that was the light, not the fan. There we go. All right. I'm gonna want another coat on this watermelon. We are almost to the point where we get to start putting it together. Almost, almost. Which is always the best part. Pete, what are you licking? Who knows what he found? His dog. He's almost as much of a hot mess as me. I don't lick stuff off the floor though. Just so we're clear about that. Excuse me. All right, I think that is gonna look great. I think I am pretty happy with how thick the paint looks on there. Oh yeah, let's put another coat on here. Oh my gosh, did I tell you guys I love this pink? I love this pink. Pete, what are you getting into? He took his little mini nap, now he's bored and he's got to sniff everything in the room. Because beyond this being this part, my craft room, the rest of the room is kind of like whatever stuff didn't fit in the rest of the house. Like, there's luggage over there and boxes of like keepsakes from our kids. Hi, buddy. Hey, sweet boy. All right, now I'm done with the dark pink. I'm done with the green. I think I'm done with the white and the light pink, but I need to check the round to be sure. That's what it looks like. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. I should have pottied before. We're gonna take a potty break. Intermission. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. All right, came back with help. Speed up this drying process just a little bit. The pink's practically dry, but I think I would like to put another coat on there. All right. I just really like this light pink, and I wanted it to look very solid. Then we'll get to start gluing. Oh, I didn't do the seed yet. They're gonna be black, so that part's not too hard. Just paint the watermelon seeds black. All right. So, like I said, I forgot about the watermelon seeds. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I only had 4. I should have 5. I'll have to cut myself 1 extra and add it afterwards. But there should be 5 in yours, and some lucky person. Probably got 6. It's whatever my extra one is. I accidentally packed it into somebody else's kit. But this will just take you like 2 seconds. I'm just going to use the other end of one of my sponges and just paint those black. And it's okay if I get a little bit of paint on this part of the door hanger. The watermelons go in there. In case you're wondering while I'm painting on the door hanger itself. There we go. Watermelon seeds done. So now you're going to open your glue pouch. The easiest way for me, what I would suggest for you with your little pouch, not that this is glue, this is gold paint, but instead of tearing it open, I would just cut off just a small little corner so it only puts out like the tiniest little bit of glue there. It makes like for a good squeezing spout for the glue. My glue bottle out. There we go. Oh, and since we are done with the white, and I'm going to want to use this brush again, getting off as much of the paint as I can, and I'm going to stick it in my water there, so that I can use that again. Hey Pete, you back to check in? Hey buddy. So using that little corner of your glue pouch, you're just gonna squeeze a little bit all over the back here. But you don't want it to be too goopy. You still want pretty thin lines because you don't want it squishing out from the edges. And then you've got the laser etched line here that you're gonna line this up with. Oh, and that would help. We should probably put that on first. Duh. Set this to the side. Let's do the watermelon rind first. So I'm just putting 1 stripe of glue down the middle of it. And then you can line it up with those laser etched lines. Plus it'll fit with the outside edge of your circle. Go, give it a couple good pushes. If it's not quite sticking, because it's a long skinny piece, so that can tend to happen. We'll put some weights on it in just a minute. Like my left edge is not quite sticking down yet. So we'll just fit that right in there. Keep pushing. Let's see which one is the heaviest. Not that one. Oh, no. There we go. So I'm just gonna set that there for now. But as I'm gluing other things on, I always keep coming back and pushing down, just creating that little bit of like suction. It'll stick. All right, so for the summer letters, I did them when I made my first one, kind of offset. So I made the S lower, and then the U higher, and then the M lower, and the other M, there it is, wherever it went, a little bit higher, and then the E a little bit lower, and the R a little bit higher. Now, it's kind of like, it looks a little more crammed here than there, so I'm going to go back and kind of readjust. I'm going to move this U over a little bit. So I want to decide on the placement before I start gluing. Right, so and you can kind of stand up and look over it, but I think that looks pretty good. They all look, you know, kind of the same distance from the top line for the offsets there. So I think I'm ready to start gluing there. So I leave them all lined up, but I'm just going to glue one letter at a time. And I'm just putting a real thin line through the middle of the letter. It's not a lot. Right? You put too much, it's going to squish out. If it does squish out, grab a pipe cleaner, fold it over to give yourself a good, not sharp point, but a point here. And you can use that all around the edge to wipe up the excess glue that gets smushed out. So again, just a real thin line. I think I need a new glue bottle, or refill this one is actually what I do. There we go. I'm going to give everything a good push. Make sure I feel like it's all sticking in the right spot. I'm going to go ahead and glue on my watermelon seeds. They're all the exact same, so it's not like a right seed in the correct hole or whatever. Obviously, I will need to get the last one cut for myself so I can fill in my sad little empty watermelon seed spot. And then we're gonna glue on our word sweet. And because the word is skinny, you're gonna want to be really thin layer of glue. These are the words that I tend to like, even though I'm trying to be careful, I still squish some glue out. Alright, on the one I made, right, I put sweet over here, a little offset. I love that. You can put it right in the middle or on the left if you prefer that. This is just where I wanted to put mine. And the way I line it up is I just make sure the bottom of the S and the bottom of the T are about the same distance from that white line. So I know it's straight. Oh my goodness. Somebody's probably delivering something. That's what it sounds like. Probably a Prime delivery. Or UPS or FedEx or one of the million things that gets delivered here for mine and my husband's businesses. All right, y'all, look, that's so cute. Ignore the fact that I'm missing my watermelon seed. That's still sticking up. So while we work on our bow, I'll throw these away. And we'll use those again. I'm going to move this over here, and I'm just going to put some of my heavier paint jars on it so it'll stay stuck down. There we go. You can always use clamps, textbooks, soup cans. This seems to be doing the job. Yeah, I just don't think I have another one that's heavier. Oh, that one's really heavy. That one's really full. There we go. All right, the last step, grab out your pipe cleaner and your pieces of ribbon. All right, so on the end of your ribbon, you're gonna fold it in half, right, long ways. Take your scissors and you are going to cut from the wired edge at an angle. Right, so we cut from the wired edge down so that happens. All right, let's do that one more time. I am cutting from the wired edge down at an angle. Ta-da! All right, so you are going to do that with all 4 pieces of your ribbon. You've got good scissors, you can double it up, cut 2 at one time. All right, now they look all cute on the ends. All right, so you're going to put your 2 green pieces down first, make an X with them, and then your pink ones on top of that. The pink ones are a little shorter than the green ones. That's on purpose, so the green ones will still show. All right, so you're making your 2 X's, and then we're gonna pinch in the middle. When you pinch, you kind of just try to like push it, right? Like if you were doing a pleat, like I don't sew, but I know what a pleat is, right? So we're trying to like make a pleat there. Don't worry too much about it because it's all wired. We're gonna smush it around, it'll be fine. Where your thumb is, put the pipe cleaner over that. Flip it over. The only thing you want to make sure is make sure you're really in the middle, and I feel like I'm not. So I'm going to do that one again. I felt like it was way lopsided. That feels a little more middle-ish to me. Give it a good pinch. Fold a pipe cleaner around. And then on the back here, I'm just pushing everything down, and then the pipe cleaner, I'm gonna pull it and twist. So at first glance, that's what it looks like. I mean, even just, that's not bad right there, right? But you can always go through and kind of pull this, pull that side. You can pull them through. If this one's too long, I can pull it from the other side, right? But they're all wired, so you kind of pull up and split and do all sorts of things with it. Right, so I just kind of yank it around for a little while till I'm happy with how it looks. Sweet. Just like the sign. Okay, what I did forget to bring into my craft room with me is the jute. Do I have some here? What's that? Haha. There we go. It's always easier to tie the jute on first for hanging, then to put that through. So go ahead and tie this on. This one's a little bit too long, so I'm going to tie it much further down. All right, so we've got our jute for hanging. And then I'm going to take this pipe cleaner. I'm going to go with the top left hole because I've got the word sweet over kind of on the right. So I feel like that balances for me. And just wrap that pipe cleaner around the back and twist. And minus my missing watermelon seed. There we are. She's all done. Look at that, so cute. I'm gonna put the weight back on this because the glue is not set yet. The only thing you have left to do, so cute, right? Anyways, sorry, distracted. If you're gonna hang this outside where it will get some weather, so sun or rain, anything like that, you will want to spray it with a clear coat. So I just use Rust-Oleum 2X clear coat, any of the brands though, Varathane or Krylon, whatever. The clear coats are all kind of made the same. You'll want to spray it with a clear coat. If you're hanging it on a door that has next to no protection, meaning like all you have is just that little bit of roof overhang, you know, the roof above your door, and that's it. You'll want to spray the back as well. Now this is a 1/4 inch MDF, but you can tell it's very smooth. It's got like a nice seal on it. But if it's going to be getting like some pounding rain on your door, you might even want to clear coat the back. I have a porch, so I could hang mine out like this and I would be fine. If the rain makes it to my door, we're in trouble. So that means it is blown in through my big front porch, and that would be problematic. But I always spray it with a clear coat if I'm putting it outside anyways, even on my porch. It does get a lot of afternoon sun, so it helps keep it from fading, that sort of thing. But that's the only thing you would need to do, and then she is done. Yay! I hope y'all love her as much as I do and enjoy what is left of your sweet summer. Have a great Tuesday. Bye, y'all.